Hey everybody, let's pick up where we left off with our putting together our tip calculator here. I want to fix this thing up a little more before we send it over to the phone, and I will show you how to. Probably in the next video we'll get it over to the phone. I did actually use it this past weekend at dinner with it running on my phone, and I had a little. It needs a little work. It needs to be fixed up still before it will work, really work the way it should work. So there's a few things we want to do. Now, if you recall, we've got these breadcrumbs up here. That's what these things are called. I think you can probably see where my mouse is. You can see where my files, this current folder, is actually this MATLAB folder here. And this MATLAB folder is, okay, we've got a users folder, then we've got a Gordon F. Snyder folder inside the users folder, then we've got a documents folder, then a MATLAB folder. So this is where my files are stored. And we left off with this one right here, I think. This is where we left off. We put together simple tip calculator. You can follow the code. Okay, you get prompted, how much did the meal cost? You input the cost of the meal, and then some calculations are done. We got a 15% tip calculation, then we've got a 15% tip calculation total, okay? Then we've got you saw that little clue pop up, we'll talk about that in a minute. Tip 20, tip 25, so we do the same thing. Now let me run this. I've got it open in the editor here. It doesn't have to be open in the editor to run it. If you're in the command window and you type in tip calculator, okay, it's going to run tipcalculator.m. You type that in the command window. It's going to run what's in your current folder. So I'm going to say tip calculator. I'm going to misspell it on purpose too. See, tip C-A-C-L-U-T-O-R. Didn't recognize it. Let's try it again. I'm trying to get it to do something. Try that. Okay, there we go. So you see what I did? I misspelled it. You can see how I spelled it. Tip cal. I forgot the T. So MATLAB actually will, if you get it close, and I obviously didn't get it close to my first attempt. You get it close, it'll take a look in your folder and it'll, say, okay, looks like you spelled it wrong. Did you mean tip calculator? So my cursor's blinking at the end of the R here in tip calculator. I just hit enter. Okay, what's the total meal cost including tax? And when this happened to me, it was around $34.65. I think was the meal cost. So I typed it in on my phone. I'm doing it on a computer screen here. Same program's going to run, just a little different device it's running on. So I'm going to hit enter. See what it did? Let me stretch this here a little bit for you. What's it doing? It's rounding off to 4 decimal places. 4 decimal point places to the right of the decimal point. Money is rounded to 2 decimal places. So we got to fix this thing up somehow, okay? So I was getting something like this, and I mean, I'm pretty good with math, but it's just not right, okay? I want to round this thing off to 2 so I can get it right to the exact penny. So how are we going to do that? Okay, it looks like it's some sort of a number formatting issue. I'm going to open up my browser. I've already got it open here. Okay, I've done just a little Google search here. You can, but I said MATLAB format decimal. I just picked some words. And the first thing that pops up is a MATLAB website. So I'm going to click that. Okay, and you can see here we've got some syntax. We're actually in the MATLAB Help Center. So there's different ways you can format. Okay, we're looking for money, or 2 decimal places. I'm scrolling down here. Haven't found it yet. Keep going. Oh, here we go. This looks interesting. There's one called bank here. Okay, these styles control the output display format for numeric variables. So here, bank, what does bank do? Currency format with 2 digits after the decimal point. So if we're looking at pi here, it's going to round pi off to 3.14. Okay, we're looking at money here. It's a little different, but it looks like I can use the format space bank command here. Okay, I'm going to stick it right at the beginning. If I put it at the beginning, all my numbers are going to be displayed in bank format, 2 decimal place format. Format space bank. Let's try that. Okay. That's my new tip calculator file or code. I'm going to clear out my screen. If you remembered, if we want to clear out the command window, we said it was CLC. I'm just going to do this to clean it up. And if we want to clear out the workspace, over here on the right, over here, it's clear. Okay, workspace is cleared out. Command window is clear except for the word clear, so I'll clear that again, clear out CLC. Now I'm going to type in tip calculator. Let's go with the same number, 34.65. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, we've got things rounded to the two decimal places. So this is in money format right now. Okay, so the next thing I would do, I'm going to add some comments here. Okay, and I'm going to in MATLAB, we're going to add some documentation. So in MATLAB, add documentation. If you want to just add some information, some documentation, you know, what the program does, those kinds of things. I'm going to say in the first line now, this program, you can make it say whatever you want to do, calculates tips for meals at 15, 20, comma, and 25%. Good enough. And I'm going to close out that comment with another percentage sign. Notice they're in green too. All right. Now, format bank, what does that do? I could add another line for comment, or I can comment on this same line. I could say something like, let's put a percentage sign here now. So this is not code that's going to run. Again, this is just documentation. I'm going to say this limits calculations to, I'm going to put banking in quotes, to banking 2 decimal points. I'll throw another percentage sign here. Okay, so we can do the same thing down here. Maybe we could document each one of these lines if we wanted, but let's continue with our calculation here, or continue with our program. I think this looks pretty good. Let's try running it again. Again, I'm going to clear out. Let me clear out the workspace first. If you look, we've got all these variables over here on the right. So we're going to clear those out, and then I'll do CLC, clear out the command window, and I'll run tip calculator again. Okay, 34.65 again. What the heck? Enter. Okay, so the meal is 34 0.65, 15% tip. The tip's going to be $5.20. You can just fill that right out on the receipt. And then the total, if you're given it 15%, is $39.85. So again, some simple little calculations. It's interesting here, you see the numbers are displayed in the command window, rounded to 2 decimal places. But if you go over here to the workspace and you look, we're still at the default 4 decimal places over here. So we're rounding the numbers. The actual number values, though, we've got, if you look at the 15% tip, is $5.20. If you look over in the workspace, it's actually $5.1975. So I hope this makes sense. I hope it helps. In the next video, we'll finally get this thing over to your cell phone so you can start carrying it around with you. Thank you.